All right. Hi, Paradigm Shifters. Welcome. Welcome to Winter Solstice, December 21, 2021. We're so blessed that you're here. Paradigm Shifters is a community dedicated to shift. How do you like that, Beth? My halo goes like that. To shift and uplift the planet. The planet. The planet. and we have a special celebration today with my good buddy and friend and shamanic teacher, Beth Beurkens. Say hi, Beth.
Hey,
All right,
hello, hello.
now here's the idea. So it was, I think, last week. I was on a 5-day challenge with Beth, and we did this medicine wheel. And as I was like, wow, what can we do for winter solstice? And I had this idea pop up. Let's invite Beth and all of her wisdom to come on and talk to us about the solstice. And she of course hopped on board, and so oh, Beth, there you go. Okay, so here we go. Beth is a shamanic teacher from Pacific Grove, California, and is here to enlighten us. So I'm going to bounce this over to you, Beth. So take her away.
Hey, Judy. Hey, Kat. Hey, Carol.
There we go.
Hey, Delia. Hey, Fiona. Hey, Renee. Hey, Karen. Hey, Erica. Woo! All you beautiful people here. Thank you so much for really honoring yourself and honoring the planet and the celestial events that are taking place here today. The high point of winter solstice was about an hour and a half ago, so we are full on into it. Judy, your timing is impeccable. And I thought what I'd like to do is work just a little bit with my rattle, have us breathe together. People are still hopping in.
I've got it.
And, and then I'd like to do a traditional Sami from Sami land, north, the top of Sweden, the top of Norway, where those reindeer people live up there. Do a traditional opening blessing, and then I'm going to talk with you about summer solstice, excuse me, winter solstice, and show you some slides. I put together a beautiful slideshow with the help of my wonderful assistant, Erica, who lives in Texas, who's here with us. My good buddy Kat Marlowe is also here. My good buddy Judy Matejcek invited me to do this, and I'm so excited. I hope I can keep my focus. I'm so excited to be here with you. So, um, we'll work a little bit with the rattle. And the rattle in shamanism, as Judy told you, I'm a teacher of shamanism and a vision quest guide of over 20 years. The rattle helps to wake up the soul. So as I'm rattling, I just invite you to take some nice, slow, deep breaths and to set your intentions for here today. You came here because this is about winter solstice. So what is your intention? What do you hope to give while you're here? What do you hope to receive? We'll just take a moment to do that, and then we're going to go into working with the sun cycles. Here we go. Beautiful. So the Sami have this beautiful, beautiful prayer, which I use in so many of my shamanic workshops and healing coaching trainings, and it goes like this. The sun is a circle. The moon is a circle. The earth is a circle. The drum is a circle. We are a circle. We share an interdependence with all things. And we have a unity with all of life. And today we honor one of the big cycles of the sun, the soul, the Romans called it, S-O-L. And we want to feel where we as human beings are in relationship to the sun, in relationship to the light, in relationship to the dark. Today is the shortest day. Tonight is the longest night. And if you watch carefully the next couple of days, maybe you were up early as I was. I wanted to be up and I wanted to see where the winter solstice sun rose in the east. Tomorrow morning it'll rise in exactly the same place. And the next morning it'll rise in exactly the same place. Now, the Romans noticed this, and they were very concerned that the sun was dying. A lot of shamanic peoples are super, super connected to the sun, as we all are. We can't live without the sun, right? How many of you feel that connection to the sun? I had to move out of Oregon and back to California to be with this quality of light. I gave up my entire life up there, my poet circle, my, teaching advanced writing at the college, my friends. I had to get back to this light, this quality of light, this sunrise here, and of course the ocean. So let's think about where we are in relationship to the power of the sun. So the sun is actually standing still today. That's what solstice means. Sol is sun in Latin, and stisere means to stand still. And so this day is sometimes called the day when the sun stands still. And there's a lot of power in that. You know how it is when you stand still, when you finally stop, right? And you focus, you get to stand still. Thank you for that smile, Carolyn. I appreciate that smile. I know when we get to stand still, there's so much power there to just, is that the first law of thermodynamics? That which is stopped, that which is still, tends to remain still. So the sun is standing still today. Watch tomorrow morning and see it'll rise in exactly the same place where it did today and the next day, and then the sun will be reborn. So knowing, where you are in time and space. I don't know if you know, there's 2 different meteor showers happening right now. So check it out tonight. If you've got a clear sky, check it out. Lots of shooting stars happening. For our ancestors, this was like critical knowledge. They didn't have, I was going to grab my phone. I'm glad it's not here. They didn't have calendars on their phones and paper calendars, and they didn't have electric lights. They had bonfires. They had maybe oil in lamps. Knowing when the sun was going to rise, I think I'm going to skip to the PowerPoint here, was really critical for them. And it's actually critical for us. We just kind of forget. What did I just click? Share. We just kind of forget where we are because we live in these wonderful, wonderful homes. We can forget where we are in relationship to sun and moon and earth rhythms and cycles. So my hope, my intention, we'll make it a promise too, for today, is that I'm going to help awaken in you the cycle of nature. Here we have this beautiful medicine wheel in Sedona, Arizona. I will be teaching there, I guess within a couple of years. I'll be teaching in Sedona and working with the medicine wheel on the ground live. So the medicine wheel, if you know it or you don't know it, it's aligned with the powers of the four directions, and the center stone represents source, what our friend Mary Morrissey calls infinite intelligence. You might call it God. You might call it spirit with a capital S. So let's get in touch today with these cycles of nature. You've got all four seasons on the medicine wheel. You've got your own cycles. Think of where you are in your life cycle. Are you in the north, which is the place of the elders with wisdom? I see some of you have silver hair. Some of you are more in your middle years. You're more in the west, in the place of the adult. So the movement is this way, sunwise we call it. Got cycles of nature, cycles of seasons, cycles of life. So let's go to the first cool slide here. You can see these pictures clearly, correct?
Yeah.
Beautiful. Stonehenge at winter solstice. This whole thing was set up to capture the rising of the sun midwinter. It was very important for our European ancestors to know when is that sun going to rise so we can count on the days are going to be getting longer. It's going to make hunting easier. It's going to make planting easier. Very, very, very important. So the midwinter sunset was just as important because that meant then the days were going to start getting longer. So for us, the days will start getting longer. Isn't that good news? We're going to have more light. Yeah, so Stonehenge, these giant megalithic, 70-ton stones that somehow they got from Wales to the British Isles to set this up. It was an astronomical observatory and a place of great ritual and ceremony. And ceremony is very important on the winter solstice. That's why I ask that you bring a candle or a light or a flashlight from your iPhone, whatever you've got. So, Stonehenge. Oh, great. There we got one. Light on the iPhone. Don't you love it? Now, I'm going to change continents. Now we're in Egypt. This is Karnak, which was built near the great town of Luxor in Egypt. It was a massive, massive temple complex devoted to Amun-Ra, who was a pharaoh at the time. Ra meaning sun. Ra was the sun god for the Egyptian people. And it was built in such a way that the winter solstice sun would come in this narrow doorway and would strike Amun-Ra and illuminate him on the morning of the winter solstice, giving him the power to continue to rule. So I invite you to think about going out in the sun today. It's a very powerful time. The sun is very powerful right now, and it's in this amazing standstill time, which, for shamans is called a margin. this, when we're betwixt and between, it's a time of tremendous power that you can access for your own healing, for the next marketing thing that you want to do for your business, for a conversation that you need to have with a friend, a loved one, a partner, for going to the beach with the dog. Whatever you want to use that power for, just know it's there, it's available for you. So, Karnak, near Luxor. I'd love to go there someday and visit that. And notice, I mean, it's such a beautiful photograph. Notice the shadow in the pool of water. This is the middle of the desert, right? Water is very important to the ancient Egyptians. The shadows of the palms. It's just so magical. So, Karnak, Amun-Ra, winter solstice light, piercing the darkness, illuminating the pharaoh. And now we're back in North America. This is the Bighorn Valley. This is the Bighorn medicine wheel. Hundreds of feet across. Used for hundreds and hundreds of years. And you notice there's a lot of stones piled in the center, which represents source. All of the outer parts of the wheel, if you collapse them, they all go into the center. The center, think of your own center. Where is your center? Is it in your heart, your solar plexus, your throat, the place of speech? Where is your center? So in the medicine wheel, you see a very strong indication for these people, the importance of center. All the prayers were taken into the center of the wheel. All the requests for healing taken in to the center of the medicine wheel. This is something that I was trained in by the first shaman who I worked with, Evelyn Eaton. And she worked with Hayemino Storm, if you're aware of him, a Cheyenne medicine man. So you see the directions, the 4 directions, but you see there's a clear line here, right from here. See this big pile of stones leading to the center, leading across to this big pile of stones. Now for these people, it was about the summer solstice that was very, very important. The sun, these places mark where the sun rose and set on summer solstice, which was then, of course, the longest day of the year. And tomorrow, that's what we'll be headed back toward. Summer solstice, the longest day. Right now, we're in the shortest day. Just wanted you to feel that connection between those two, right? On the medicine wheel of life. Judy was mentioning that I just did a 5-day Facebook challenge and created an incredible group of mostly women, a few really great guys, called Women of Wisdom. And I taught people the basic, simple, rudimentary, primary setup for a medicine wheel, just so people could have it, in their home or in their backyard. One of my clients who's had a traumatic brain injury reported to me that just sitting with the wheel and having the balance of the wheel has started to realign things neurologically for her. Is very powerful, the medicine wheel. So let's go to the next slide. If you have questions, I guess there's a chat box. I can't see it at the moment. Let me see.
Beth, we're going to do that after.
Okay.
Afterwards. Okay.
Yeah. Afterwards. Okay, cool. Thank you. Let me move these guys back up here. All right, so I wanted to just give you a taste, right? Whenever I was teaching college classes, I was teaching at Cabrillo College for 25 years in Santa Cruz. My classes were always interdisciplinary. I just like all the cultures. I majored for 8 years in philosophy, graduate studies and everything, but I could have majored in anthropology. I mean, it's just so really fascinating to me how different cultures, it's the same theme, similar theme, with a different kind of geographical flavor based on what's happening with the land there, what's happening with that location. And the shamans in each location are very involved with the spirit of place where they live, the spirit of the land where they reside, where they help people, where they heal people. So this is from Sami land. We used to call it Lapland, way up top of Norway, top of Sweden, where the reindeer roam. And this is the Sami's sun goddess. It's a very early figure. And she is riding on racks of reindeer antlers woven together to make her sleigh that's going through the sky. And she's distributing gifts and healing to the people below. They were, it's very dark up there. I mean, at winter solstice time, there is no light. The sun doesn't even come over the rim of the horizon. So having a sun goddess who pulls the sun across the sky, that's what she's doing here, is really pentultimate important. And her name is Biwe, Beiwe. So she's Scandinavian. And you may have some of those roots, and this may be important information for you. Beiwe. And so at winter solstice, they're actually celebrating the Earth's regeneration and the Earth's rebirth, because the sun is going to start coming back, will come over the horizon and illuminate for the Sami people. Yes, and she also sometimes travels through the night sky with her daughter, Biwe Nia, Neia. And she's said to bring back the greenery which feeds the reindeer, because they've got a lot of snow up there. She brings back the greenery. So, all about regeneration, all about manifesting what the people need, what the reindeer need for their survival. And you may just, be getting hints. Hang on. Hints that she reminds you of somebody. She doesn't have a white beard. Thank you, Carol. Does she remind you of somebody? I love your smiles. Thank you, Carol Ann. This was the earliest version. All right? The Sami Shamans very often wore red clothing with some white trim, and they would sit in their yurts with a fire going, and they'd be drumming, and they'd go out the smoke hole, journeying to go find the gifts for the tribe, for the people, and they'd come back through the smoke hole with the gifts. And this is where Sami Claus originated. Santa Claus, Sami Claus. She was there doing this. You see the gifts coming out. I love this picture. This is a modern day artist, her rendition of it. Okay, now we go to Mexico, and you have this beautiful piece of pottery of oh no, I couldn't have forgotten her name. Tonantzin. 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 She was the earliest mother goddess who the early Hispanic people venerated and worshipped. And here you see her, with a couple of her kids and very pronounced breasts. And she was celebrated early on, thousands of years ago. She was celebrated at winter solstice. And then she went through a shape-shifting when the Catholics arrived in Mexico, and she became the Virgin of Guadalupe. And if you know the story of the Virgin of Guadalupe, she created a miracle in the desert, in the winter, when not much grows. She made roses blossom in the desert. And so she also is celebrated, venerated at winter solstice. The Virgin of Guadalupe, and her early name, her early counterpart, Tonatzin. They're celebrated during the leanest times of the year when not a lot grows, even in Mexico. Are we doing good so far? Is this interesting?
Yeah.
This is good? Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we get to the Roman approach to winter solstice. And this is, how the Romans had walls and they had statuary built into the walls. So this is the sun god Sol Invictus, which means the unconquered sun. And as I mentioned earlier, they were very concerned, noticing that the sun just kept rising in the same place. It's like, why is it not moving? What's going on here? And so they had a huge celebration on the 27th, the 24th at midnight, when the sun was said to be reborn, because then it rose in a different place. And the sun stopped being still, and then noticeably there was more sunlight. So I personally, I just love this picture, of the sun god with the sunbeams coming out. And, well, I love Latin. I still might study Latin. I have a friend who has a PhD in Latin, and I just have so much fun talking with her about these things. All right. So now we come to a Scandinavian tradition. Any of you have Scandinavian blood, ancestry? Not that you know of? Okay. So this is called the Yule Log. And in Scandinavian, it's spelled Juul. And our word in English is Yule, right? For the Scandinavians, again, very dark in the winter. And to really honor the light, honor that the sun is returning. And I thought you might find this interesting, those of you that have access to maybe a friend, who has a log that they could prepare for you. So you see the round of wood is cut in this way. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, there's 6 pieces, but it's not cut all the way through. And you light a fire here on top with kindling, and you get the fire going. Of course, this is very dry wood. This would be very dry. And then you let it burn all night, and people drink mead and they wassail and they dance and they sing and they celebrate the return of the light in this way with the Yule log. So I had a tradition myself when I lived in Mount Shasta, and I, was constantly cutting and splitting firewood. That night when I was celebrating winter solstice and then the fire went out, in the morning I would take a piece of that wood, of that charcoal, and I'd carefully wrap it up in aluminum foil, and I would put it away. And then next winter solstice, when I was getting ready to light that fire, I put that log on that new fire and carried that energy of the last year forward into this year. And that was my version of a Yule log. But this is how they do it in Scandinavia. Might be something you want to try. I mean, it's so cool to bring new traditions into our lives, right? It's just, yeah. Okay, let's see if there's something else I wanted to share with you. I think this is the last slide.
So I think we have about 10 minutes left, if that's
Okay, that's great.
time.
So we want to do a ritual, and I'd love to teach you a beautiful Seneca song at the end. So I think we'll just bring this to a close. We're going to stop the share. Cool. All right. So questions. You said there's time for questions?
Well, I think what we're going to do is after the recording, we're going to do the questions. So
Okay.
that, yeah.
Okay, cool. All right. So everybody has a match or a flashlight or a candle or something. And those of you who are on with us, if you could come on screen with us so we could see you, that would just really be awesome. So you
Except
get
we're going to, for the recording, it's just you and me because of the anonymity. We're just going to do that because we're putting the,
okay, fine. All right.
but I think
So,
we could, I think we could, yeah. Okay, go ahead, Beth.
all right. So everybody has some kind of light. So we've been talking about the importance of the return of light, the importance of light itself, the power of the sun, the power of this whole cycle that is shown with the medicine wheel, the presence of the medicine wheel. So let's work with this light in a very simple ceremony together, very profound ceremony, which goes like this. So let me just tell you what we're going to do, and then we'll do it, okay? So if you don't yet have your candle lit, please go ahead and light your candle or get your cell phone light on. Great. If you don't have that, you've got light in your heart. Illuminate the light in your heart, and we'll work with that. Okay? Great. Now, some of us can see each other on the screen, so that's really cool. So what we're going to do is there's three parts. Oh, there's a picture of a candle. That's so cool. Oh, God, I love technology. Um, First, we're going to offer the light to somebody that we see on the screen, and we're going to say to her, "You are the light of the world." And then we're going to receive that light from somebody, and we're going to say, "I am the light of the world." And then as we hold our candles up, we'll say, "We are the light of the world." So I want you to get into both a giving mode and a receiving mode. Can you do that? Really open your heart up, open your spirit up, open your soul up. All right, we've got our candles. So you just look at somebody on the screen and you give this light to them. And if they want to receive it, that's great. If they want to just look at it, whatever they want to do with it. But it's an offering of light. So we pass this light to her and we say to her, "You are the light of the world." Really receive that. Breathe that in. And then we come back to ourselves and we look at this light. And we say to ourselves, we claim for ourselves, "I am the light of the world. I am the light of the world." And then we say, all of us together in this sacred circle, we say, "We are the light of the world. We are the light of the world." Hmm. Now I'd like to share a very, very sacred song that comes from the Seneca people, which is East Coast in America. It comes from a very wise old shaman elder named Twilanish. And this song is about the dance of the moon and the earth and the sun together. This heavenly, cosmic, cosmological dance that happens every day. So it's in Seneca, and I'll sing it for you. And then I'd love it if you would sing it with me. All right? Everybody else would be muted because of the latency with Zoom, and I've got my original sound on. So I'm hoping that I'll sound good. I have to stand up to do this, however. And as we're singing this, I want to invite you to feel your own relationship with the moon, your own relationship with the sun, your own primal relationship with the earth, the ground that you stand on, the place where you live. And let's feel our gratitude for this cosmic dance that we get to be a part of. Gratitude to the sun, gratitude to the moon, gratitude to Mother Earth. So the song goes like this. Nisa, 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 Gai Weo, Gai Weo, Nisa, 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 Gai Weo, Gai Weo. One more time. Nisa, 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 Gai Weo, Gai Weo, Gai Weo, Gai Weo. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. All right. Well, thank you so much, Beth, and what a beautiful way to start the next half of the year. So we bless you, we hold you, and we appreciate you and everything that you do. And on the page, I will put on if you would like a breakthrough session with Beth. I'm going to put on the page and where you can sign up for one. And
Yeah.
yes, and thank you so much for being here on this beautiful, illumined day of 2021 and the rest of our lives. There you go.